bet the Greens wouldn't let West run because of his Ukraine war, Russia stance. Now, one thing I'm gonna say, just based on what John Mubaraka said, just based on people I say, they are alignment with that position. It's the Howie wing and the leadership that is taking over and hijacked the party. Howie Hawkins, at this point, I'm convinced that he's some sort of infiltrator that is trying to ruin the Green Party. I'm gonna show you guys, if the people who are more offline than I am, I'm gonna show you guys this horrific tweet that was dug up. I don't know what, it didn't go viral until Dr. Cornel West went in, because people were like, why are you running the Green Party? And people were like, this is why. And that's why it's so insulting with Kyle and Crystal and these white moderates when they say, oh my, Dr. Cornel West had a boomer moment. Oh, dumb. Of course, you dummy. They think they're more astute. Kyle Kalinske and the ditch Crystal Ball believe they are more astute than Dr. Cornel West. Right? The idea is so absurd. Now, there's many reasons why he probably didn't run the Green Party. There's a lot of problems with the Green Party. And I'm gonna have some Green Party members on next week. Like, I'm texting people right now watching the show. We gotta put this together next week. It's gonna be fire. We're gonna talk about Howie, and this is not negotiation to me, guys. Like, if I voted Green 2 elections in a row, if these motherfuckers allow Howie Hawkins to stay in leadership, RBN will be the enemy of that party. We will destroy them, because you are not going to hijack what it means to be a socialist and turn into imperialist. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys. Did you guys remember this? And this is what Howie Hawkins is trying to do. We're trying to. You had. I'm gonna share some tabs real quick. I actually didn't have planned, but I actually want to preface it some more. Look, Green Party abandons long-standing opposition to NATO. Now, we're talking about the Green Party of the UK and the Green Party of Wales here. You also had the Green Party of Germany that abandoned their opposition to NATO. You had the Green Party of Sweden that was abandoning their position to NATO. And during our third-party summit over a year ago, I had some Green Party people on. I'm like, why don't you got to change the name? Because that's what I think they should do. They need to change that stupid-ass name. People think Green, they think of tree huggers. It don't appeal to America, not an appealing name. But the answer they gave me that I thought was decent for at first, well, they said we don't want to change the name because we want to maintain international leftist solidarity with other Green parties. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then I learned more about the European Green parties, and then I'm like, hell no, you shouldn't have we should want no association with the imperialist scumbags in the UK Green Party, the Wales Green Party, the Germany Green Party, etc., etc. So you do not want that solidarity. So now that's kind of a red flag that you guys do now. So despite that, the United States Green Party still had initial opposition to the war, which is why Howie Hawkins' statements is insane. I literally did segments on this show where I show how the Green Party actually spoke up against NATO in the United States. It was Wales, the UK, and Germany that flipped. You want to know what Howie Hawkins is for? Howie Hawkins is here to do to the United States Green Party what the European fascists did to the Green Party in Europe. You know how Germany, Wales, the UK flipped on NATO? Howie Hawkins is here to infiltrate and facilitate that flip in the United States. That is why I am drawing a hard line. If you guys are allowing this guy to violate your bylaws like this and become leader, your organization is trash, and I don't care how many ballots you're on. If you allow this guy to become leader, don't give a fuck. It's over if you allow this guy to win. And that's why I'm about to put panels together. I'm putting the call out for our community. This party is dead if this scumbag gets the nomination. Look at what he said. Some in the peace movement call for ceasefire negotiations. Oh my God, some peace activists calling for ceasefires. Unheard of. Blasphemy. By U.S.-led Western imperialists with Russian imperialists to carve up Ukraine between them and call peace. Stop pressuring Ukraine to accept partition. And this dude, he pushing petitions in support of the Ukraine war. And then now this makes sense. But now we know why Kyle and Crystal want them to run Green, Dr. Cornel West run Green Party. Now we see why that's the okay party, right? Because people like Howie Hawkins is completely trying to take this over. Now I'm going to pass to the panel. My presentation is almost over. This is what John Braca has said, because despite the situation we are in with the Green Party, I don't want you guys to be 100% dismayed yet. Because I talked to some people in the Green Party that is open for a Dr. Cornel West unity ticket. And we also have former vice president who ran with Joe Stein, a John Baraka, as esteemed as it gets in the Green Party, that is calling for Howie Hawkins to step down. So the Green Party is not 100% captured by Howie yet, guys. Are we going to allow it to? Should people allow it to? Because I think people are like, fuck it. Let allow the Green Party be hijacked. You know, all the work that they did to get on balance, let them take it. I'm like, no, why the fuck would we do that? That don't make no sense to me strategically. Even if you don't support the Green Party, we need to eject these motherfuckers out right now. Right now. So this is what John played, and then I'll get you guys in after you guys hear a statement.
No, Howie has been a real disappointment. I, in fact, endorsed Howie 2020, that is.
Yeah.
That basically, the tendency of, I wouldn't even say it's a tendency within the Green Party. I think Howie still represents to the Green Party's, I think, to what the Green Party really is, a minority tendency. That there's pushback. And so the way we deal with this within the Green Party is we've got to deal with it directly. And it's been happening. There's been a couple of debates on this issue of Ukraine. And I think Howie represents a minority tendency. I think, and I've said it quite openly, that Howie Hawkins should not be a member of the Green Party. Yes. He has violated the Green Party principles and values. And why he's still there is a mystery to me. So the Green Party itself has to be quite front and center and clear in articulating its position on violence and militarism, and to restate its commitment to nonviolent social change.
We had Joe Stein on, and a lot of people think like Joe Stein. Obviously, we have a Jamu on. I cannot emphasize this enough. I hope Green Party people listen. I have a few people reach out to me. They right there. I cannot emphasize. I don't care. You guys already heard Stein was. I was trying to see if John Blue had anything else to say, but as you guys see, and I know this because guys, I know people in the Green Party. What he said is 100% true. He said Howie Hawkins does not represent the majority of the Green Party. The Green Party is being infiltrated by imperialists and liberals, and they are trying to force activists out. Now, whether we should allow that to happen is up to you guys, right? But this is what John Blue says.
Yeah, I mean, you could have it. You either support imperialism, you would support the Pentagon, or you support eco-socialism, essentially, because there's no other polluter. There's no other bigger polluter on the planet than the U.S. Pentagon. For example, the Abrams tanks that we sent to, they were about to send to Ukraine, they go through 70 gallons of fuel per hour. Okay, like just the first minute takes around like 10 gallons of fuel to start the tank up, and we have, let's say, 800 military bases around the planet that require just billions of dollars in just air conditioning, which takes energy. You know, you either support militarism or you support, green initiatives. We have fucking depleted uranium ammo, which literally makes the planet, which literally makes that surrounding land unlivable. There are people that still have cancer in the former Yugoslavian countries because of the depleted uranium ammo used in the area back in 91, 92. I think 91, 92. There's no bigger polluter on the planet than the U.S. Pentagon. And so to see all these American Green Party people, the German and the other European Green parties, and even and not just the Green Party, other leftist parties too, like Sanna Marin and Olaf Scholz. They are the quote unquote the left party, not like the super far left. They're like more social democrats, but they support war with Russia. And the socialist, the quote unquote socialist president of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, he is set to be the next Secretary General of NATO. Like, at least that's in the talks right now, that he might be the next Secretary General of NATO. Like, you can't fucking be a leftist, be an environmental activist, and support war. Like, I mean, come on, it's one or the other, And if you support war, you're not green, you're not an environmentalist, And this recent dam that was blown up, like, nothing happened. Okay, with the dam that was blown up in Ukraine, that is an act of eco-terrorism. There are talks about who is responsible for that right now. It was most likely, I mean, Russia has nothing gained from that. It was most like Ukraine because they've already tried to attack a dam before. They've attacked other dams before in the Bakhmut area when Russia was advancing in order to stop the Russian advances. And we had Ukrainian generals saying, "Oh, we're going to do test strikes on this dam. We can destroy it anytime we want to stop the Russian advance." And that's causing untold ecological devastation in the area. So, if you claim to be a part of the Green Party, you cannot support militarism. It's one or the other. Howie Hawkins needs to just be thrown out of the Green Party and just never shown his face in public ever again. It's just embarrassing that the Green Party still keeps him on and claims to be a front runner for the presidential candidate ticket of the Green Party while supporting this bullshit. It's outrageous, honestly, to tell you the truth. That's all I have to say about that.
I think Ukraine is and should be a defining issue for us. I responded to that horrendous tweet by Howie Hawkins, ending with, "Good thing you're not relevant anymore." Dude, but there's no way Howie Hawkins is not an infiltrator. There's no way he hasn't spoken directly with the imperial power structure globally and nationally. There's no way, right? And so I think he needs to just be pushed out of the party. He's got a right to believe what he believes, but it is inconsistent with the message of independence from a two-party system that is a colonial, racist system designed to destroy the working class globally. That is exactly their goal. And the austerity issue that needs to be connected with Ukraine, we had over 700 Americans froze to death, at least. It's probably over 1,000 on sidewalks and under bridges last year because they didn't have housing. And our government, led by Mr. Empathy, Joe Biden, and a Democratic Party that includes AOC and Ayanna Pressley and the like, that government decided to give $130 billion to Ukraine to fight a war that should have been negotiated over a year ago with the stated purpose of running Russia down because we've got more money than they do, right? And so we need a candidate that talks that way, that plainly about it. Listen, RFK Jr. has said some good things about Ukraine, but he hedges. And then his solidarity with the right-wing fascist government of Israel is completely inconsistent with that. So, I haven't endorsed anyone yet. I don't know that anybody cares who I might endorse anyway. But I think it needs to be a defining issue. I think Cornel West has the ability to articulate the connection between imperialism, colonialism, and austerity at home. And that austerity, literally, Jay and Nick and I've been on this show multiple times talking about the real pain and suffering that neoliberal austerity causes for real families, for real kids who are, come home from school one day and their belongings are on the sidewalk because they've been evicted. And then we, in his first State of the Union address, I remember Barack Obama saying, anybody can succeed if they work hard. Well, how do you work hard when you're homeless? You're just trying to survive. That's connected. American homelessness is connected to American empire. Cornel West has articulated it and can articulate it. And the thing that is, I think, not lost on me is that his blackness is something that the mainstream media cannot ignore. They're going to do all the things they're doing now. Say that he's, Red-Brown Alliance, he's palling around with Nazis. Listen, he went on a show where most people probably did not agree with him. And I want to know what he said because he's gone on Sean Hannity's show. I don't think he agrees with Sean Hannity on much policy-wise at all. But he has an opportunity to speak with that audience and connect them, because white working class people are also hurting, in addition to immigrants, black working class people, and brown working class people, and people around the world. And I think Cornel West's unique ability is to rhetorically connect the dots in a way that either the other Democrats, Marianne and RFK, haven't been able to do or aren't willing to do. And that is necessary. And the final thing I want to say about this is we don't have time to work incrementally within the system. I live in New York. We couldn't go outside yesterday. It looked like Blade Runner. In fact, people made some memes with Blade Runner music showing the New York skyline, because of capitalism's refusal to take care of this planet. And living in New York, I see more unhoused people on the streets than ever before. And we've got a Democrat in office. And we've got a $900 billion military budget. That's just the money we know about, because we know that it's trillions. They don't talk about the secret under the table black ops that they use. And I think the only candidate that could and will articulate it is Cornel West. He has led his life not being careful. And if we are careful, that is the end. There's no time to be careful. So again, I just go back to the message I've been reiterating. I believe his candidacy is important. And I believe it's bigger than any party. I like the idea of unity, but I really think his voice is not going to be sidelined. He also, last point, he witnessed what the Democrats and the mainstream media did to Bernie Sanders. They tried to pin Bernie Sanders as a Russian stooge. That was MSNBC. While that was happening, Chuck Todd was holding birthday parties for Hillary's campaign manager, Jennifer Palmieri, in his Tony, New York City apartment. Cornel West knows all that, saw all that, and I think he's got a really good bullshit detector. So I am invigorated, not by the electoral process, but by a voice of somebody who is willing to say what nobody else can or wants to say.
Yeah, so first I think that peace should be a litmus test, just a basic litmus test that we don't want to send teenagers off to die for corporate profits and imperialist oppression. And there's a connection between international struggles and then what we see domestically. We know that the LAPD wrote their manuals based on strategies that wanted to treat civilians like enemy insurgents. This was a mindset that was brought back from Vietnam. I think that Howie Hawkins is a Green Party relic at this point, and he's just out of touch. And it's in the best interest of the party for him to put ego aside and let the new generation take over. And this is a wonderful opportunity for MPP to do the same thing, and for Nick Brana to step aside as well, because whatever people believe or don't believe at this point in time, his name is tainted. He is going to bring a lot of negative press to this presidential run, especially as it picks up national attention. And if Nick Brana truly cares about the movement, about the working class struggle, we have this moment in time to capitalize on right now, and we might never have one like this again. And there's a desperation and a need amongst the people for this to have an impact. So for him to be able to put his personal interests aside for the good of the movement and the good of the people would show true leadership. And I challenge both of them to step aside from these parties and allow Dr. Cornel West to lead a movement of solidarity, which he is excellent at doing, and bringing everyone together under the same umbrella. So the only war we're fighting is a class war.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And I just wanted to reiterate what Zoya and Jay said about, Jay said you're not an ecologist if you're supporting the U.S. military machine and the U.S. empire. And you're not a socialist either. You're not an eco-socialist. Like Zoya said, peace is a litmus test. We don't demand purity from our leaders or from Cornel West or from socialist experiments, but you can't be an imperialist. Because imperialism isn't just, violent actions taken against countries overseas. It's the stage of capitalism that we live in. It's the global system itself. So if you're supporting the ruling classes, the capitalist ruling classes' main imperialist project and leading a proxy war against Russia right now, you're not anti-capitalist. You're not a socialist. You're advocating for maintaining the current capitalist imperialist system.